What up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Back at it today. It's been a little bit of a gap between my last couple videos, mainly because I was out of town. I was going to make a video about what I was doing, but it was kind of hard. There wasn't really much to video. I ended up going to Georgia for a Fuel Tech tuning course. Got to meet a bunch of cool dudes and go through a base tuning course for Fuel Tech for the Civic. I was down there for about 4 days and got back, and just the weather's been crap and just been working a bunch. Today we're going to dyno tune the Turbo LS Malibu that we built for my buddy Eric. It's got an MRE built 383 Stroker LS, the MRE turbo kit we built for it. I've been doing all the tuning and stuff on it, and it got the tranny fixed, got a new tranny in it, and because the last video we did with the car, it broke the transmission. I actually put a little clip in here somewhere where we broke the drive shaft. Come to find out, when he had bought the shifter for that car, he was under the assumption that it didn't matter basically whether it was forward pattern or reverse pattern. The transmission that was in it was a forward pattern and the shifter was reverse. So it was keeping it where it didn't like fully engage into a gear, and that's essentially what ended up tearing the car up, and the transmission exploded. So it's been a few months. He got a transmission built by a local guy here. We're going to take this thing out to Taos Performance, same place we always go to dyno our stuff, and do some dyno tuning with this thing. I don't know how far we're going to get because the car has 1200cc FIC injectors in it. We're going to put an E in it, so I'm not sure where we're going to run out. I know he has a goal of like 1,000 wheel. I don't necessarily think we'll try and go there. I don't normally try and go that high on the dyno anyways. Usually if I can get in the ballpark of like 700 to 800, like that's usually where I'm cool with stopping. It doesn't need to, I don't want to wring its neck on the dyno. It just doesn't make sense. The dyno numbers don't mean anything. It's just a tool. The dyno is just a tool. You know, you can look at dyno numbers, you can look at fuel consumption numbers, and you can kind of go back and forth with yourself. In the end, the only thing that matters is ET in mile an hour. That's it. That's all that matters. Doesn't matter whether you make 500 and run fives or you make 700 and run fives. It doesn't matter. ET, mile an hour, that's the only thing that matters. And let's do some tuning on this thing.
So I'm making a full pull on 91 right now.
Yeah.
That's up to what RPM?
Let's just say 5,500. Let's just start there. Last time we tried to say 65, you know, just run it out. He wasn't feeling good about it. He's like, what RPM are we going to?
Start in the back, look for forward. Start all the way back, look for forward. Start forward, forward back.
First rip, it's going to have 8 pounds of dome on it. And I'm going to run it to like 5,500. This is pump gas. See what happens. Hopefully the drive shaft stays in it. Hey, nervous, Scooter? Got there a lot faster this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. 604 to baby pool 5,600.
Wait, 604 on 8?
Yeah.
I'm down with that. On pump gas.
So first pull, 8 pounds of dome, made 10 pounds of boost, and made 604 at 5,700. So this next one I dropped it to 7 because I have a feeling it's going to climb. Yeah, he's adding another strap, and I dropped the dome pressure to 7 pounds to try and keep it from running away from 10 because it's still on pump gas. So we'll make this pull to 7,000, and then we'll swap it and put some E in it and then start turning it up a little bit more. 1,800 foot-pounds of torque.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's not bad.
all right, well, I'll pull that log, make sure the fueling is just good, and then we'll go ahead and throw some E in it. He's got some E.
Yeah, I asked him earlier. He does.
All right, so we put some E in it. He's gonna roll it for a little bit, let it kind of work its way through, because we were pretty well out of pump gas. And then this is gonna be the same boost and everything. Should be 8 pounds of dome, and we'll see kind of what it backs up. It's gonna be a short rip to 6,000. Make another pull. We added 2 more pounds of dome. We're going to run out of injectors somewhere around like 13, 14 pounds of boost. That last pull made 11 pounds. So we'll see what 2 more pounds of dome does. Dyno brake. Yeah.
That torque is a little more accurate.
Yeah, that one's a little. Well, where the laptop is. Same pull, same boost. Made like 12 pounds. Added a degree of timing. If it starts. Oh. Oh, there we go. Two more pounds of dome. Probably.
We'll see.
At 1 degree of timing. You hate to like try and zero in on all the shit if you're just gonna change the injectors and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, stood up a little bit faster there,
Yeah.
and that was just boost, bringing the boost in sooner. So it made it fatter.
I forgot which direction shifting in. I was like, this thing feels different.
Oh yeah. So as you saw there, we made a couple pulls on pump gas. Car did pretty good. We were really low on pump gas. I would have liked to make like 2 or 3 full pulls on pump to just kind of dial in the timing and stuff on pump gas, because it's going to be a street car. It's going to be driven on the street. And we had pickup issues, so it was messing up the dyno, and we ran out of, like, pretty much we had just enough to make 2 pulls, and that was it. But I think it made like 606 or 605 on the first pull, which if you look at that dyno graph, there was 2 numbers on it, and the other one was like a 500 pull. That was the pull where it blew up the transmission. That pull was on E85 and like 8 pounds, where the first pull on today was E85 this pump gas and 8 pounds. So it picked up like 100 some horsepower. It just goes to show you like how hurt that transmission was, and you can tell that it came up and hit RPM really fast. So definitely the new transmission, huge help in getting this thing to make power. So then we switched to ethanol 1. It was the ethanol 1, so it's like the street E85. Put 10 gallons of that in it and started making pulls, and just tried to back it up on the 8 pounds of dome, just kind of see where it was headed, and just wanted to creep up on it, see where the fuel was, and really just wanted to get the fuel dialed in before I started messing with timing. And surprisingly, it took a lot more timing than I thought it was gonna. The good thing is E85, it's pretty resilient to detonation. So, but every time I put a degree of timing in it, it picked up power. And I probably honestly could have put more in it, but I would have rather thrown boost at it. But we were at a point with the boost that we were going to get into a point where we were going to run out of injector, and I just didn't feel comfortable just, walking that edge. And even still, we were still pretty close to that edge. But my hope was we got it pretty close in boost where we felt like we were going to start to, walk that line. And then I threw a little bit of timing at it, see if it made more power. Well, then it kind of, in a sense, kind of got yourself a little bit closer to that line of running out of injector, because it was making more power, so it was consuming more fuel. So my thought process there was just worthless. But I was hoping that if we added more timing and the motor got more efficient, then the boost would fall, and it would kind of offset that. But I knew we were going to be somewhere in like the 700 to 800 range. Like, that's kind of where I wanted to be. I know he wanted to make 1,000. But like I said, I don't normally try and wring its neck there. And the base pressure on this thing's only at 50 pounds. We could have bumped the base pressure up, got a little bit more room on the injector. But I more or less just kind of wanted to set a hard line on power to a point where, like, if we took the car out and we started out making passes of the track on like 500-600 horse, that I didn't really give him that option to get it up to 1,000, because the car needs a lot of safety stuff and whatnot. So I really just want him to kind of ease into it. In the end, it's his car, it's his decision, it's his life, whatever. But I know car guys can sometimes get a little ahead of themselves and make irrational decisions just because they want to go fast. So here I am trying to be the voice of reason and just being like, look, let's just take it easy. Leave it here. If you want to turn it up, we can turn it up. We can add bigger injectors. We can up the base pressure, all this stuff. But for now, this is a really good starting point for a car that's never been down the drag strip. And he's never been down the drag strip in this car with previous setups. So a lot of shaking down needs to happen before we just try and throw 1,000 horsepower at this thing and run it down the track with no cage and, crappy suspension and all that stuff. It's not smart. You don't want to do that. But our plan is to take the car out this weekend and hopefully make some shakedown passes, get him some seat time, you know, let him fill out the drag strip thing. Because, you know, it's easy for a lot of people just to be like, oh, well, it makes X amount of power, it's going to go out and run this number. It's not how it works. Does it happen that way sometimes? Yes. Some people get lucky. Not all of us. I'm one of those guys. I never got that lucky. But we'll hopefully load it up and take it out. You know, the car made 762 horsepower on E85. Should it have made more? Yeah, maybe. It is still stock cathedral port heads, stock size valves. It's got some old valve springs in it from the previous motor. Who knows those? You know, there's a lot of variables. Like, based on cubic inch, yeah, probably should have made more power. But a lot of variables there. You know, the turbo kit, it's all the cast manifold, hooker setup. A lot of guys say those things aren't real efficient up there in that power. Plus, it's a big cube motor. We may have back pressure issues. I don't know. You know, it's hard to say. Based on fuel consumption, you know, it's showing it's making like 850 or 860 horsepower. It's about 100 off. And this converter's spec'd for 1,200 horsepower. So, like I said, there's just a lot of variables you have to consider. The dyno number does not matter. That's what I'm trying to get at here. ET, mile an hour, that's all you want to worry about if you're building a race car and you want to make a bunch of power. The dyno number, it's irrelevant. Most of my stuff, I don't even push that hard. Like 700 horsepower, cool. I go to the track, I turn it up and I tune it there. I would rather make tuning adjustments at the track and get something out of it, like to see a BB or to see a, you know, personal best mile an hour or something like that, or see it slow down, versus just being on the dyno in a contained environment to where it makes a number and that number's kind of skewed based on, you know, so many different things. So, you know, you want to make power, and you like, the reason you want to make power is because you want something to be fast. Well, prove it's fast by going and seeing it run a fast number, not just trying to hit a dyno number. The dyno number is irrelevant. Who cares? You know, it's like my Civic. That thing made 1,126 horsepower on the mountain. It's never gone fast enough to show that it makes 1,125 horsepower. So who cares? You know, the time I had it out here recently, with the new VS 72 millimeter, the car went like 940s, and I think when we had it on the dyno with that turbo and stuff, it only made like 800. So I would rather have less power on the dyno and go faster than you would think it would, versus making too much power and then going out and looking like an idiot, like, oh, I make 1,100 horsepower and I run 13s. It just, yeah, it's dumb. It's all a numbers game. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Keep following along. We're going to keep bringing them to you. And we got race video hopefully coming up here soon for the Malibu. So we'll see you on the next one.